Welcome to Art History with Jackie, Episode 4. Today, we will be talking about Kara Walker, a contemporary American artist. Like Warhol in Episode 2, Kara Walker works in many different mediums. She is a painter, silhouettist, printmaker, installation artist, and filmmaker. She explores issues of race, gender, and identity in her work. She is perhaps best known for her large scale black cut paper silhouettes that she displays directly on gallery walls. Kara Walker was born in Stockton, California in 1969. She grew up living with her father, who was a painter and professor. Walker has said of her childhood with her father, "I remember sitting on my dad's lap in his studio in the garage of our house and watching him draw. I remember thinking, I want to do that too. And I pretty much decided then and there at age 3 that I was an artist, just like dad." Walker spent her later childhood in Atlanta, Georgia. She went to the Atlanta College of Art for university and the Rhode Island School of Design for her master's degree. Walker is an African American woman, and growing up, she found it difficult and uncomfortable to address issues of race within her art. However, during her master's, she began to find the courage to do so. Walker had very different experiences with reactions to her race in her childhood. Born in California in the 70s, in an integrated neighborhood, Walker didn't feel that she faced much outright racism. However, when she moved to Georgia, she was shocked by how differently she was treated by her white schoolmates. This experience has since made its way into her art. Walker has become best known for her panoramas of cut paper silhouettes. They are typically black figures against a white wall and often depict the history of American slavery. Walker uses the black and white imagery to address the realities of history. Her influences include Andy Warhol, who also played with cartoonish imagery and cinematic feel. Walker creates nightmarish and fantastical images that confront identity and gender issues for African American women in particular. She takes the silhouette style from American art history, where it was used in family portraits and book illustrations, and uses it to create characters in a nightmarish world that reveal the violence and cruelty of American racism and inequality. Walker pokes holes in the romanticized idea of the past. She works to expose the humiliation and desperation of plantation life for slaves. Even though the images are silhouettes, Walker uses distinct physical features to make it clear who is in power in her works and who is not. She shows the hierarchy of white men at the top and African American women at the bottom. Some of her notable works include Insurrection, created in 2000, which references the story of Gone with the Wind. She used light projections to pay homage to the film version of the story. In 2014, Walker debuted her first sculpture. It was named A Subtlety, or the Marvelous Sugar Baby. This piece was a massive, site specific work installed in the abandoned Domino Sugar Refinery in Brooklyn. It was a sculpture of a colossal female sphinx with the head and features of the mammy archetype from historical popular culture. It was made to look like it was completely formed from sugar. It was a comment on the money made for largely white businesses from the work of black slaves. Recently, in 2019, Walker created Fons Americanus, which is located in Tate Modern's Turbine Hall. The fountain measures up to 13 meters and contains imagery referencing the histories of Africa, America, and Europe, with a particular lean towards the Atlantic slave trade. The work is inspired by memorials that depict important moments from European history. It brings to light the darker moments of history that monuments tend to gloss over. Undoubtedly, Walker's works often spark controversy, and she herself has identified them as having a too muchness that overwhelms people. She understands that her works can be disturbing to audiences, but believes that the confrontation is necessary to work through past wrongs and move forward. Can you create your own Kara Walker inspired silhouette art? Let's see. Remember to share your creations with us. Thanks and see you next week.